Hi, my name is Matthew. Welcome to Witch and Famous. I've been a practicing witch for the past 20-some years, and I thought what better than to do a little video recap of True Blood this season, since it's the season of the witch. Alan Ball has always done a great job of incorporating all these metaphysical things into his shows, starting with 6 Feet Under and now into the 4th season of True Blood. We've got some of the most interesting characters to date. Aside from the vampires, now we've got werewolves, and fairies, and now witches. And what better? This season starts out, we are meeting Sookie after she's been taken away to the land of Fairy, which opens into the most amazing scenery, as if it's a Maxfield Parrish painting. It's absolutely gorgeous, and she's wandering around, and she starts to see people that she recognizes, like the bellboy from the old vampire hotel, and even her great-granddaddy, who, lo and behold, was clearly a fairy too. So, as we're wandering around, she starts to take it all in, and people are eating these delicious, glowing fruits, and everyone is just devouring them. How good, how juicy, what is it about these fruits? All of a sudden, she starts to realize that the sweet fruits that the fairies offer are actually bitter disguises. And, like anything, when you eat something in the other world, you are then captive to it forever. And just like the old fairy tales go, 5 minutes in fairyland is 5 years on Earth. So, it's no mistake that when she meets her great-granddaddy, he was like, "But I just saw you last week." And she's like, "Well, you've been dead many years." And she also finds out the hard way when she finally gets sucked back to Earth through Queen Mab's portal that she, too, has been away for over 12 months, when maybe it was only 20 minutes. I think Alan Ball does an amazing job of incorporating and recapturing the fairy realm and bringing it to life for us so that we can see the glistening beauty and the dark truths that actually await. Queen Mab was beautiful. She truly is the classical queen of the fairies, and I'm pretty impressed that he was able to incorporate her, as well as the fact that when Sookie refuses her fruit, it all goes dark and sour. So that is a great setup for what looks like it's going to be an amazing season. So, when Sookie arrives back on Earth, she's got some people to regroup with, like her brother Jason, who now is a strapping policeman. How the hell did that happen? We know how it happened, but still it takes her off guard. And then the other vampires, Bill and Eric and everybody in between. But now, finally, we get to the good stuff. Lafayette and his boyfriend Jesus. Now, can I just stop for a minute here and say that what's better than a gay witch and a gay witch named Jesus? I don't know. So, we've really gone the whole 9 yards. So, Lafayette, as we left him last time, was only just beginning to discover what really might be the true background of who he is and what his powers are, because, as true witches believe, it's in your blood, and your bones remember it, and it's part of your ancestral heritage. And Lafayette is only now finding out, through his new boyfriend Jesus, I still find that funny, that he too has these gifts, the gifts that Jesus brings to the table, as he is a Santero and comes from a Latin background family. Lafayette is also realizing that he's got it in the background too, though he's never quite looked at it and is kind of afraid. So, Jesus takes him to his first witches' meeting, and what happens? Well, just as you'd expect, Lafayette's skeptical, and where is it? It's at the Moon Goddess Emporium. There's nothing better than that, but it is a very cool occult shop. You walk in, and it's everyone's occult shop's dream. It's kind of dark and really stuck to the gills with all kinds of things, and curios and jars and bottles, though I don't have any background in that. And slowly behind the beaded curtain it's all revealed. The circle of witches and candles glowing and everything you'd think it would be and that you want it to be, because it's really good. And for the first time someone's portraying it in a pop show, and well, let's see where it's going to go. He's done an interesting job with everything else. So Lafayette is kind of wary. He sees the head witch. I believe her name is Marnie. And Jesus totes her as the most powerful witch he's ever known. She's meditating, and as the girls come up to meet them, he is instructed that she is contacting the spirits of the dead. So we've already just dove right in, already excited. All of a sudden, she calls Lafayette out, "You," and has a message for him from some old lover that he's probably chosen to forget. But the fact that she was able to pick up and cause him to remember freaks him out. So, end scene. we go back, we catch up with the vampire, so let's see. Somehow, Bill has become the king of the county, of all the vampires. Eric bought Sookie's house so that now he owns her. Jessica is realizing what her true carnal nature is. Oh, and by the way, Tara is no longer Tara, she's Tony, and she's a lesbian. Well, we kind of saw that coming. But anyway, cut back to Lafayette, freaking out still because Jesus introduced him to yet another experience that he's uncomfortable with, and Jesus confronts him and says, Lafayette, why are you so afraid of your gifts? You have something that so many people only dream of. You've got to explore this. So we find them again at the next witches' meeting. So Marnie has innocently, unfortunately, lost her familiar, her pet parakeet. So we arrive in the scene and the parakeet is laid out on the altar and there are candles around and everyone is preparing to do what Marnie introduces as a simple rite of remembrance and passage for her dear familiar. They all join round, but Lafayette, he's a little bit wary. He sits in the circle, but he doesn't join hands. He kind of starts to take it all in. All the other coven members link hands, and Marnie starts her invocations. She invokes the spirits of the living and the spirits of the dead to come and be present and help this pure animal pass over into the other world. And all of a sudden she starts getting frustrated because nothing's really happening. She notices Lafayette has not yet joined hands, and as she gets more and more agitated, commands him to take part. Of course, as Lafayette's hands reach out and join to the people around him, the energy surges through and things really start to happen. Marnie starts chanting in Latin or Italian or something that we don't even know, but if you have any bit of an ear that can hear, you start to hear that she's calling on the spirits of the dead, the angels, and the devil from the fiery depths. So we've really got it going on now. All of a sudden, as she continues chanting and Lafayette's completely freaked out, and the rest of the coven realizes, we didn't learn this. What is this? And they're starting to freak out. She starts going off and the bird pops back to life. So, of course, she's fascinated. Lafayette doesn't know what happened, but I will point out that it was because of him and his energy that this actually finally took place. The bird flies and jumps outside of the circle and falls back to the floor, dead. Lafayette really doesn't know what happens. He's still trying to take it in, but to Marnie, this one has the power to actually bring their circle to life. And so, though Lafayette is trying to sort of just apologize for not being able to bring the bird back to life fully, she realizes that she's found the real deal here, and that's where we're left off, to see what happens next. So, I don't know about you, but I'm excited. Obviously, we're going to take this in a very Hollywood direction, and well, why wouldn't we? Everything else in the show has. But at the same time, I think it's going to be fascinating to see where the story goes. From what I understand, Marnie is the villain this season, and so things are probably going to get really, really interesting really soon. And, you know, where can you go wrong? Gay witches, lesbians, you know, vampires, all the good things that you'd see on a Friday night at the gay bar. So, let's see what happens next week. Thanks for checking in. My name is Matthew, and check out my website, witchandfamous.com. See you next week.